like I said before, come and fill up the seats. We're going to have our next topic commencing in a few moments from now. It's all about the panel discussion, the conscious choice of giving back to our oceans in Malaysia. Yeah? Okay, well, forum from track Borneo. So all four intact? All four intact, yeah? All right, gentlemen, could I have the mics please on top? Thank you. Right, Robin Filippo, Director of the Tropical Research and Conservation Center, Track Borneo. Avid traveler, Robin fell in love with diving in Egypt. What started as a hobby turned into a passion he could not ignore, yeah? Over a decade later, in the diving industry, he is now focusing into marine conservation as the Operational Director of the Tropical Research and Conservation Center, Track at Pom Pom Island, Sabah, yeah? Right, a little bit about Sharifah Sophia. Right, that's Shaf. Okay, right? She's an actress, she's a host, Reef Track Ambassador. She's known for her work as an actress and environmentally advocacy, yeah? And she also cooperates well with Wellness Advisor. She's a Reef Track Ambassador, mother of two. Despite her demanding career and responsibilities as a mother, Sophia is actively involved in several conservation efforts in Malaysia, yeah? And uses a platform to inspire others to take action for environmental conservation. Right, Bucky Zainal. Where's Bucky? Yo, what's up, Bucky? Whoa! I miss the good old days in ATV. I miss Red FM very badly. Pioneers, those days. Okay, TV host, event MC, producer, actor, Reef Track and Ambassador. Would you like to take over now? Because since you're MC, give me a break and a rope. Okay, today off day lah. Time out, Alright. Okay, he's indeed a talent and truly personifies a true Malaysian spirit, fluent in Malay, English and Chinese. Adventurous individual, Bucky Zainal is a notable celebrity host and TV presenter who has hosted numerous TV shows, yeah, and Asian Television Awards. Right, Cycle and TV, OK Jerome Drive Show. As an actor, he starred in several hit sitcoms as Kopitiam, Mr. Sierra's Mandarin Class, and Sini Ada Hantu, and of course, Gillian Tan. Where's Gillian? All right, hi Gillian. It's not Gilligan's Island, eh? It's not Gilligan's Island. Okay, it's Gillian Tan, yeah? Owners, representative of Eco Resorts and Marine Ecology Research Center, Mark, yeah? After a decade of pursuing her studies and career in Australia, Gillian Tan returned to her homeland of Malaysia, where she helped to launch her family's hospitality business, and of course, yeah? She became involved with Marine Ecology Research Center, which is called MARC, a driving force behind the formation of Eco Resorts, a bespoke collection of properties located on the west coast of Sabah, Malaysia, Borneo. Right, and of course, impressive tour dives, most of which have been in the Tunku Abdul Rahman Marine Park at Jackson. Of course, I can value Gillian's dedication to marine conservation and a love of diving. Well, it's all about holding degrees in philosophy, economics, accounting, finance, and of course, nutrition. Yep. Right, the forum for today is Track Borneo. So, Robin, it's all yours. Round of applause, please. Thank you.
Hello? Yes. Thanks, guys. So, welcome to today's panel. I've got some legends on stage that have been very clearly introduced already, which is great. Basically, the idea of today's panel is that we're going to talk with some of these people that are here, that have been introduced already, about how they are actually giving back to the oceans in Malaysia. Let's start with you, Baki. So, Baki is someone who's quite known in Malaysia, I would say. Even the MC recognizes you, so you must be someone. Can you tell about yourself, like, what are you doing? Because you're involved with Reef Check Malaysia as an ambassador, and you're also involved as a paddy ambassador, right?
Yep.
Some of the other things, like you're promoting things like track as well.
Yeah.
Can you tell some about that?
I'm actually just dabbling in it. It's full peer pressure. I'm hanging with these people. That's the reason why I'm underwater. accidentally found this dude in pom pom in track, and just realized like, hey, what are these people doing, man? You know, putting nets and stuff like that underneath. You know, growing coral. Not sleeping the whole night through, waiting for sea turtles to come up. And then, oh, so you're doing this. This seems interesting, right? And then after that, stumble upon 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐄𝐋 in Kota Kinabalu and go like, what is this huge thing? It's called a giant clam. Oh, wow, it's a giant clam. So what does a giant clam do? You know, kind of thinking, found out about that. Yeah, cool stuff. And then accidentally again, fell upon people from Reef Check, realizes that Malaysia is a part of the coral triangle of the world, and we've got so many awesome dive sites, and all my friends dive. So in order to be a part of my friends and not to be left out, I needed to do what they were doing, which was conservation and pushing it out. So what, and basically,
More luck
yeah,
then.
more like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it's basically just luck for you in that way.
it's about so.
But you are very passionate about it, though.
Okay, in seriousness, tak kenal maka tak cinta. If you don't know what you see underwater, if you don't know what lies down there, then you will not fall in love. And I said, why it's peer pressure? It's a part of life. To me, pushing underwater, pushing conservation is a part of my life, and it's something that I enjoy doing.
Yeah, and thanks for that. That's great. Because it is good, because it is not when there's many people who are like out in the public, like yourself. If we make yourself a public figure,
Yeah,
that are actually like pushing this message out there, because it is a choice.
it is. It is.
So, all right. So, Sophia, maybe if we can go straight to you for that as well. You're doing exactly the same. You're doing so many different projects. Can you tell some about the projects that you've done in the past and why you've chosen to do these kind of projects?
I'll go to why I chose to do all this, and then I can talk about the things that I was involved with, because
Yeah.
my story is a sad story.
This was a bad panel. I'm sorry.
I've always been a nature lover. You know, I've always loved nature. I've always liked being out in the jungle. I've been a diver since I was 16 years old. You know, and I decided back in 2016 that I wanted to change a change in life. You know, I kind of slowed down in the acting world. I got divorced. I have 2 children, and I just wanted to get out of the city. And I ended up working at Bubbles in Valencia. You know, I went on a holiday one day, and then I go, oh, next time I come here, I'm going to be working here. So Pacey, I would be messaging her on a weekly basis, and I'm like, so do you have a job for me yet? She's like, I'm out in Europe having a holiday, leave me alone. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, so eventually she's like, you know, I'm actually looking for a homeschool teacher. And I was like, I'm not a teacher, but I'll do it. You know?
Yeah.
So it was just for, you know, primary school, year 1, year 2, year 3. And I went and did it, and I went out in my life over at Bubbles, and I met researchers and doctors and, you know, all the NGOs that have come over and everything. And that's how, after being with Bubbles, I joined 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐄𝐋. And then I
Yeah.
actually worked with them for
In Parentian as well, right?
Valencia as well. But we basically, yeah, we have projects in Valencia. We have the Trail project, we have the community project, and then we got the marine project. So that, and then we had the jungle ones as well. So I got involved in all of them,
Yeah. So that's something that you're like basically also with luck in a way that you got into it.
Upon dad over in Valencia, and then, you know, I was supposed to be looking after his kids. He ended up looking after mine.
Yeah.
I was the babysitter on the resort, but then everyone was babysitting my kids, and I still got paid for it. So it was good.
Yeah, that's a good team. That sounds like a better idea at least.
So yeah, and then I did that, and yeah, 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐄𝐋, I stumbled upon that, and then I, you know, wanted to do after school activity.
Yeah.
And then I ended up joining board meetings and all this kind of thing, and it was just like, okay, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was it. I was like, from then that was where, you know, it became more of a passion on the conservation part, because I've learned so much from all the people that I've actually met throughout my journey.
Yeah, so that's also like quite a good thing to put out there as well. So, for example, Baki and Sophia as well, like no one, even myself, like none of us has actually done something when it comes to a marine science background. I have not done anything in terms of science. Same goes for Baki and for Sophia. So it's actually by just actively volunteering, actively taking place in some of these projects, that it actually creates a lot more knowledge that you get, and that you can then directly apply into whatever project that you are going to. Is that a fair statement to say?
He was saying, kalau tak cinta, maka
Kalau tak kenal, maka tak cinta.
if we don't know it, we will not love it. So we got to know it, and we fell in love with it.
Correct.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, thanks. So Gillian, to switch it on to you. So you've been, of course, for a long time in. It just works. So you've, of course, been for a long time in Australia, but you're originally from KK.
Yeah.
And then you made the conscious choice of coming back to Malaysia and actually starting the initiative called MERC.
Yes, I did.
Can you explain a little bit more about that?
So Merck is actually a switch. Can you hear me? So actually, we started off as a research facility before we actually became a resort.
Yeah.
So we have a marine center, and we actually do the propagation and the protection of giant clams. So sadly, where we're from, we have a lot of giant clams there, but I think they're very attractive both in the fishing trade and for aquariums
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
for food, unfortunately. So when we came on board, we just really focused on propagating the giant clams, raising them until they were stable enough, and then putting them back into the waters. Yeah, so this was sort of like it started off as a very serious hobby. And then the main goal that we wanted was we wanted to make sure that it was sustainable. Like this was a project that would keep going even after, we were gone. So we needed to create sort of something that would continually give back to this marine center. And that's where Eco Resorts was born, basically.
Yeah, so can you explain then a bit about how ECHO is involved with MERC? Because ECHO is basically the driving force behind MERC,
Yeah.
like financially, which
Yeah.
is, every conservation project in the world pretty much
Needs
is
to be
always short on
funded.
funds.
Yeah.
So how is that collaboration became a part? Because that's also an active choice of, you're choosing with Eco Resorts, which is
Yeah.
high-end resorts, to donate actually this profit to run this.
Yeah.
Which is, how did you get that through?
I think the main part, in the beginning, we were one of the first people to do giant clam propagation, so there were a lot of highs and lows. But what we found was the most important thing is that we really needed to become a platform so that our message would then carry out to the people who come and visit us. Because really, with research and everything, if you don't have a message that goes through into the community, you're really just a bunch of scientists playing in a lab, right? Sorry, no disrespect, but that is what it is, right? You need
Yeah.
the message to go back so that it goes into the homes, it goes into the community, and then you'll see that really marine conservation is something that everybody, especially like where we're from, should be a part of. Yeah.
Yeah. So do you find, and this is for anyone to answer in that way, do you find that it's accessible enough for Malaysians in general to actually do something back? Is that a very broad question, Sophia? Maybe if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐄𝐋, I've worked with, me and Baki with 𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿, I'm sure you guys have volunteers come over as well.
Yeah.
Trek, there's a lot of places out there. It's just whether or not people know about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's where people like us come in. Try and help with making creating more awareness, making it more public or more visible. To
Yeah.
people. And we have way different backgrounds, and our fan base and our audience is very, very different as well.
Yeah.
So that's a great reach for a lot of the projects that we work with, or that we just know that we want to talk about. We don't necessarily need to be the ambassador of something to
Yeah.
talk about it. So the more people talk about it, the more people will know. And I think I personally feel that I've done a good job since, June.
Give it a pause.
Well done, well done.
Yeah.
And what I've been doing, like with 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐿𝐿 and everything, bringing schools, bringing businesses, bringing individuals over to come and volunteer. It's been great fun.
Yeah.
People ask more and more, how do I get involved? So it's being able, once we know a lot more, it's easier for us to be able to share a lot more as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to add anything to it, Baki?
I mean, like, I agree with what Sophia says. And a lot of times is the fact of the matter that volunteering in Malaysia has become something very upper crust. You need to have the knowledge, you need to know people and all that, right? Which one way or the other, I feel the other outreach, which I think is really awesome, is that there's a lot of dive centers. And in fact, like today, we've got so many dive centers around that offers 打工换宿, okay, how do you say that in English?
I can't help you either, sorry.
You work and you in exchange for a certificate or a
Workspace swap?
Internship.
or an
Yeah,
internship,
yeah.
some sort. So they come in, 3 months, 4 months in a dive center, and then after that, surely they'll meet up with a project aware,
Yeah.
or they'll meet up with a cleanup, and stuff like that. That's where the news starts spreading. Especially these days with social media, a lot of dive centers. In fact, for example, to name a few, like in Peninsula, UDive, for example, uses social media in pushing out for the younger generations to come in, to volunteer.
Yeah.
Right? And then like how Trek does it. Same thing. Merck does it too. Getting people to come in to intern and slowly spreading the word out. Right? I think now with social media, it's a different case. Those days, it used to be where, I want to disappear for 6 months. I want to disappear for 8 months, And then after that, I will look then for a dive center.
Yeah.
Right?
Where
Then
that's
from
now
there,
completely the other way
it's
around.
the other way around.
Yeah.
Dive centers, or shall I say, organizations will go out to look for people to come in. One way or the other, it's cheap labor, but then again, it's for a good cause.
It's for a good cause, absolutely. Like, especially if you look at something like Trek, like people are there constantly working. Like Trek is an organization that I run together with a big team as well, where people are actively coming by to volunteer, and they don't need any preconceived knowledge or whatever to actually come and help.
Yeah.
Which is like, I assume, how is that with Merck? Do you need any experience before you come and help volunteer with Merck?
No, not really. We run a lot of internship programs for different levels. So, for example, if you're a diver, you can come and help with the actual things that involve the reef. If you're not a diver, you can help with the educational programs and anything that we have running there.
Okay.
There's a lot of opportunity for people to get involved. And then even just with our tourists, so obviously we run hotels. One of the issues that we really wanted to nail was we wanted to make sure that, again, our message was going through to our tourists. So we have a marine center where they can come in and they can have a look at what we're doing. But I have to be honest, the best way, really, of spreading this has really to get them to go diving.
Yeah.
Right, and I've seen that really come up like really strongly. I don't know if it's post-pandemic that everyone's just dying to get out there with fresh air and that kind of stuff, but it's been really good for the Marine Center actually, because they come, they have a look at the reef, they fall in love with it,
Yeah.
and then very naturally the next part is, okay, what can I do? And I find that then introducing the Marine Center, what we're doing is very then relatable. It's a message that you can take home,
Yeah.
and then for our tourists, it's not, you see a lot of no single-use plastic, I'm bringing my bamboo straw everywhere. And to be honest, these kind of like gimmicky things, they don't hit home unless you've actually experienced the reef, you know what you're protecting, and then it becomes something that's very personal that you can then incorporate into your everyday.
Yeah, you can only protect something when you love it.
Yeah.
That's a great way to put it, I think, as well. So when we see like of people that they can do that are here currently in the audience, so there's many different projects that are out there in Malaysia that anyone can join of any level, whether you're a volunteer, a new diver, or an experienced diver. If you look, for example, at Trek, like we are a program that we have people that come volunteer anywhere from 2 weeks all the way up to 4 months. But there are other projects, like, do you guys want to highlight some of the projects that we have at the moment in Malaysia? If you want to maybe touch base on Reef Check, just 2-3 sentences. If you want to touch a bit on 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐶 or some of the other projects that you've joined, and for you on Merck, like how do you get involved with these projects?
I think it's very easy. Honestly, like for example, to me, I won't just be pushing Reef Check. There's so many.
so many other guys.
There's so many out there. Every single island will have a project on their own. Whether it's turtle, whether it's giant clams, whether it's the reef. Those days it used to be you're an ocean person, we are a reef people, right? But then I think now people realize that you have to work together in protecting the whole ocean, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And with that, it's like you can go up I mean, up to websites, or just Google it up. There's a lot of all these organizations that will come up. Like on top of my mind, you got 𝐏𝐀𝐍𝐄𝐋 𝐃𝐈𝐒𝐒𝐍 down south. You come out to Lang Tengah, there's Lang Tengah Turtle Project, and then of course there's Redang and Tenggol, and then up in Bedong you've got people from UMT doing stuff. Yeah, Kota Kinabalu you got Merck. Off to Pom Pom you got Track. You know, there's so many of these organizations that you can work together with. Yeah, so just Google it up.
Yeah. So that's.
I could just top off on that. I mean, there's volunteering programs, there's internship programs, there's day things, there's weekly things, monthly things. There's a lot of things that you can actually do to get involved with volunteering, even if it's just as simple as a donation, if you don't have the time, that they say the intention counts. But they're all NGOs and they're in need of that funding. So speaking of funding, I mean, there's a lot of mindset where when you say volunteering, they think, oh, I just come and I volunteer my time and I go home, right? But a lot of the volunteering programs that there are as well, is a paid volunteering program. Where you pay to volunteer because that is actually helping with the operations side of the NGOs. Without you helping them financially as well, I mean, they're providing you your accommodation, they're providing you your food, your diets and everything. So that's all inclusive of the money that you're paying for to volunteer. So when it's an investment in the future and as well as yourself as well, with your self-development, with your time, and being involved in all of these programs. So when they say it's volunteering, okay, go for a beach clean if you don't want to pay for anything. But if you really want to do a volunteer, if you really do want to go and volunteer for a program, it's not cheap, to be honest. Not many of the programs are very cheap, but that's why you see a lot of the foreigners that are coming over to come and volunteer and everything, because there was some guy that was like, oh, 29 pounds for a pair of glasses. That's not, but for a lot of locals, we can say like that's 20 bucks, 150 ringgit?
Something like that.
Sometimes things like that cannot be affordable for some of the locals. So it's an investment that we actually make with the NGOs that you intend to volunteer with. So it is a great thing to do, actually.
But also, for the people that are here, reach out to these organizations and actually ask them for questions about, for example, their pricing structure or what kind of finances that they actually ask for it. Because if you look at an organization like Track, you're living about 35 kilometers away from the nearest town. Everything just costs money. What a lot of people, kind of forget is that fuel is one of the biggest expenses that you can have when you're a diving operator. So, reach out to these people because there are programs that are from a short duration. When you look at, for example, Lang Tengah, that you can actually volunteer and you just do nothing but the turtle eggs. You go to the beach. It doesn't have to include diving. Diving is definitely something that's there. Look for internships. Look for, send them an email. We take 8 interns a year that are completely funded. So you need to just reach out to people as well if you want to actively be involved with people. Okay.
And the other thing is, you don't need to be a certain age. Literally. Yeah. You can be 15, no wait, 15 got parent consent.
18.
18 and above. Until even if you're 6 years old, if you're passionate about it, go and do it, right?
Our
Look
oldest volunteer is 74.
74,
and he comes up to 3 times a year. Yeah, and we just had a couple that left as well, and they're both turning 70 next week, and they've been 70 next year, and they've been there now in total 18 weeks with the project. No, 20 actually, and been back already 3 times. So age doesn't matter, and especially when you turn into conservation mindset, when you have people that are look at us on stage, we're completely different walks of life, but still we have one communal goal and one communal thing that we all love, which is the ocean and doing something back for the ocean. And everyone can do it. You don't have to be highly educated or trained. It does not matter at all. And I think that's, for me, one of the main messages, anyone can do it. It doesn't matter. Yeah. So I think we've got about another 15 minutes left or something. Is there anything that any of you guys want to add to this about, what you can do in order to do something back for Malaysian waters? And else we'll go up to some questions maybe.
Well, today, you can
Yes.
You know, that you can actually go and find out how can you volunteer, or if you can actually, how can you intern at their projects. But even if you wanted to go for a long-term holiday, like you were saying, you know, I want to go away for 6 months, go look for a 6-month internship. And that's your free holiday, man. You know? So
Yeah, it works. It works.
it does, it does. I mean, it's hard work, but it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of
Rewarding.
It's true. It's like, as I was about to say, it's a free holiday.
fun. Yeah.
Literally, it's a free holiday. You get to go there. And in fact, if you volunteer within the next couple of months, right? This is a plug-in.
Here we go.
It's a plug-in, all right? If you're worried about money and whatever, so not, and you want to go volunteer, most of the places that has all these volunteer programs are Paradise, Pom Pom, Gaia, you know, Tioman. They are all Paradise. And usually, if you're going to stay there for 2-3 weeks, it's going to cost a huge, like, what do you call that? Thing
Sum of money.
in your pocket, unless you're caught there during COVID. Die lah, 2 years, right? But this is the time for you to go and stay there for just to do a bit of work, maybe put a bit of money in, and at the same time, if you're there within the next 2-3 months, you can actually up your social media content.
It's all about the social media with
Right.
the influencers here.
Because I've seen a lot of people do that. A lot of people have been doing that. They go and volunteer. They learn something new. They up their social media content without realizing they're actually spreading the word out, spreading the
Exactly.
cause out. And also at the same time, Tourism Malaysia at this current moment has its photography and videography competition. Log on to www.malaysia.travel. Okay? 3 months, go and stay on Pom Pom, take wonderful underwater pictures and videos, post it up. 50,000 ringgit worth of cash and prizes to be won. Starting from the
There you go.
25th of May to the 25th of August. Thank you.
Shameless as well.
Malay, of course. Oh, really? You want to plug in
I don't
anymore?
know.
It's
Okay.
called Sharifah Sophia, Jillian Tan, Baki Zaina, Robin. Your tag. You're on Instagram.
Filippo.
Yeah. Follow us.
Somewhere there. Yes. And what we'll do as well, I'll add to that. So maybe what we'll do is all to agree is that we will post up either a post or story with all of the Malaysian conservation projects that we have that people can volunteer. So if you follow any of these guys or you follow like Trek or whatever, we'll put that up so that anyone that's here and that's interested, you can look it up, go to their social media, check out their website, see how you can volunteer. Because for me, and I think I speak for everyone else at the same time, it doesn't matter if you go to Trek, it doesn't matter if you go to Merck, it doesn't matter if you do it with Reef Check Malaysia, any project will do. Like we are the divers. We're the ones that are taking the most benefit from the ocean in a way by just enjoying it at all times. We are going into the ocean to just do nothing but watch. We need to get to a point as well, especially in today's climate, like we need to do something back. And that's what I think is important. Like everyone that's sitting here right now is sitting here for a reason. Maybe it's just Baki's good looks, could be as well. But if not, you're probably sitting here for the conscious choice that you want to be doing something back. Right? Okay, so that's what we will do at least. So we've got 10 minutes. Is there anyone in the public who would like to ask a question to any of the panelists? Because else we'll just keep talking as well, that's fine. You got a question? Okay, all right.
So, I'm gonna become a student soon in like college and uni, and I want to know like if I don't have the time to volunteer, what are some other smaller ways that I can help, I guess, give back to the ocean, other than sharing on social media and all that.
Actually, there is a lot that you can do. Like, if we just look already at one of the things, should be talking about that. But so when you look at just what you can do in everyday life, just the small things. When you think about it, when you go and you get your, in the restaurants here, just say no to a plastic straw. Say no to a plastic bag. Don't bring back anything that is unnecessary, like consumerism items, if that makes sense. That's like one of the small things that you can do. But beside that, you can always look at things online. You can help people as well. Like there's projects that you can actually volunteer your time online digitally to get involved and to make sure that you can help them. But the main thing is just making sure that you are reducing your own carbon footprint in everything that you do. I think if you don't have the time to do the active volunteering itself at the moment, maybe later, then that's a great step in the beginning to already start. And to, you know, actively follow these people, send out the message besides, you know, social media, because they do need the support. Anyone wants to add
tell
something?
your local mama to not put any straws, and tell them to not put in straws in everyone else's cups as well. The whole
Yeah.
Tanat Straw campaign has kind of gone down the drain.
Yeah.
We need to revive it. Yeah? So we need to bring back the Tanat Straw campaign and really tell people, like, I mean, I know it doesn't make sense that everyone's using that turtle, the straw in the turtle's nose as the, you know, reason for it. But, you know, if you've gone for enough beach cleanups to see the amount of straws, the amount of single-use plastics, like Robin was saying, that we pick up and collect, the amount of cigarette butts that we collect on just a half an hour cleanup, you would be amazed, you know? And the local tourists are not the cleanest tourists either. Dirty
It's coming from
nappies
us, yeah.
and, you know, they leave their barbecue crap all over the place, and it's just,
And I think if you put it in very simple terms, right? Like if everyone in Malaysia uses, like, and that's actually something, I'm pretty sure that we'll have more than that as well. So there's like, what, 33 million people in Malaysia, roundabout? If everyone uses one straw every single day, that's more than 30 million straws a day. Like, that's a lot of plastic. Like, we just did a calculation for the US, for example. They use 500 million straws a day. That's enough to fill up 46,400 school buses with plastic straws for one day. And that's just to give you an idea. These are small little things that everyone can change. So that's, I think that's giving a bit of an answer at least. Is there anyone else who has a question? Kayburn. You want to ask anything to Baki? He's going to ask what time do I go for happy hour. Okay, yes, he knew it already. Is there anyone else in the public who would like to ask a question?
I actually want to add on to your answer just now. Can I? Okay, this is... Never feel that being a student or being a kid, you're powerless. Do you know that you have the strongest power and decision-making, shall I say, influence? So read up. When, say, for example, when you want to go for a holiday, you want to choose a resort, for example, or you want to choose an airline, for example, read up. And when mom and dad wants to make a decision, give your input, right? If you see wonderful pictures of people swimming and feeding turtles or riding on a whale shark, read it up. That's not right. Tell mom and dad, that's not right. Let's not do it. When you start to make that difference, mom and dad and the adults will listen to you because you will be the next future, not mom and dad. They'll be fertilizer, okay?
non-organic.
Okay.
Well, away. Thank you.
So is there anyone, because else we're just going to go to our closing. Meg, you want to ask a question? No? Okay. All right. So if you have... Yeah, you're just constantly waving. If you have one advice to give someone today, what would it be? One sentence, Baki. It's very hard for you. Okay, Baki's done his part already. Jillian.
What was the question again?
If you have one advice for people to do today,
Yeah.
to make a change, to make any difference, what would it be?
I think you should do what you can with what you have.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thanks. Sophia?
It doesn't take too much to make a difference. Just start slowly, one step at a time, and then, you know, it becomes, create small habits. These small habits then become something that's bigger. So, yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Tak kenal maka tak cinta. If you don't know what's out there, you don't know what's underwater, you don't know what you're saving,
Yes.
you won't want to save. When you find out how beautiful it is, what you're saving, and how that will affect your everyday life, then you realize you need to do something about it.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you
Thank
guys
you.
being on the panel today. I think we had a nice chat at least about everything. So I think we're out of time as well. So we're just going to call it a day. Thanks everyone for attending. If you want to have more information, please come to booth B29 or find any of these guys on social media. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.